Um, this week's the last week of the month, so I'll make it the last week of this project. So the coastal scenes and boats my project. And thought I'd do a demo in pastels today. Just had a request from one of the groups if I do a little bit of pastels. And thought perhaps do something on people at the coast, and a couple of people yet. So that was that in a minute. Next month, we've got the option actually, if you wanted, if somebody might be interested in doing lino printing. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that next month if you fancied it. I've got some of the, I bought some of the lino from CY, so I've got some of that if anybody wants to have a go. Would anybody be interested?
I would, but I'm only going to be here 1 week.
Are you? Oh, yeah. Right, okay.
So
yeah.
I might well do it though anyway, and just do it when I get back.
Yeah.
I could do it to start it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I'll put that out there as an option. I think the first week I might do something on sort of design, you know, or preparing, like drawing for lino or something like that, and perhaps using the ink. So that could be of interest to other people anyway, some sort of ink project. Other than that, the theme would be night scenes, but I'll probably wait until I'm back from my trip. So next month, there's 1 week I'm not here, and I can't remember exactly when that is, but it might be
13th, is it?
Yeah, 13th. Yeah. So I'm not here the 13th. Going to be taking part in the Wapping Group show, so that's why I'm not here, because we'll be hanging the show that day. So if anybody invites to the show, that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. So the show's open from the Friday, but probably from late afternoon on the 13th we'll be opening once we've got stuff up. And the private view's on the Tuesday. If anybody else thinks private view, but basically the exhibition will be on. So there.
Is that the same place as last year?
Yeah. We just kind of hired that gallery for more or less 2 weeks. Very posh. Yes, it's very posh. It's Chelsea. It's very expensive. Yeah.
It's worth going to drink 3 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to. I think they're trying to pull back on the glasses of wine. No. We'll see. Yeah. So yeah. Hopefully we're going for the pictures too. Right, okay, so yeah, a little bit on pastels then. So yeah, just find it easy to sketch out with pencils, and then these are a bit more like paint, kind of block big areas in. They're a nice kind of instant colour medium. I'll just start, maybe I should start because she's closest to her. Feels like I can see a bit more of her. So this is quite nice, and not to worry too much about her features because her face is turned away from me. So start with the head, face, and then perhaps a shoulder there. Her arms kind of that kind of direction. So sometimes it helps to just put a few lines in general directions of things. There, and just looking at where sort of her armpit is in relation to her face. So her face is there, her armpit is coming in about here. With figures, sometimes I find it useful to try and imagine where their spines might be. So in this case, it's going to be sort of across here. I can't see a lot of definition of the head. With him, I could see a bit more of the back of his neck and then the roundness of his shoulder. This is, it's a little bit hidden by a hair. I think her spine will be about there. So the side of her back will be about there. And seconds to about that bit. Her other arm, useful looking at these little negative shapes or spaces, or if you haven't got a negative shape, sort of doing that and just try and create one. That can be a useful aid to seeing shapes. Flapping around, and then just working down. Because she's leaning over, feet are a little bit back. I think the legs are something like that. That might be a little bit too far forward, perhaps come back a little bit. And a little bit of calf muscle there. I think I've made the legs a bit short, so maybe a bit longer. But yeah, sort of play around with that for a little while. And then, touching on the pastel, generally work darker to lighter. I find it really difficult to get naturalistic colours with pastel, so I don't worry too much about it. I just try and go for something fairly approximate. But I really try and get the tones about right, so get the darks dark enough and the lights light enough. Generally work dark to light, so I'm thinking this area here, just pop that colour into the whole of the top of the head and work that in with, either with fingers or those little paper blenders are really good, which I haven't got out yet, but that would be a good thing to use. Something like that. And then let's go a little bit lighter, just for this part of the hair. And then the highlights I'll pop on afterwards. These get a bit mucky, so I tend to, the lighter colours I tend to just wipe a little bit. I'm just trying to find something approximately right for her top. I'll do that one. I quite often, I don't really like the grain of the paper showing through. This is actually quite a nice smooth pastel paper. And I like having the tone paper. This is just a cheap sheet I got from CY. It's not particularly thick, but it's quite nice and it's not too textured, which annoys me a lot of the pastel papers. So quite nice for sketching. Probably couldn't get layers of the pastel on. Maybe go for a slightly redder colour as well. Let's try that. Kind of blend that in. And then on this side we've got the highlights. Let's try that. Yeah, that's not too bad. That works fairly nicely. And then perhaps just a little bit of white or lighter pink as well. So that's quite a nice light pink. Yeah, that would work quite nicely for some sort of highlights. And then probably the highlights, I just leave them as the pastel marks. I don't want to blend everything in. I quite like them looking like a pastel drawing. And then working details in her face, I think I'll be tempted. I've got a lot of these pastel pencils as well, which I find are nice for the definition. I don't really like to sort of work tons of this in, but just getting a more defined shape perhaps to her side of the face, that would work quite nicely. And just getting in it's a little bit easier to control and to get different sorts of marks. Perhaps a little bit of shadow under here. And then a little bit of highlight. So, I think this is quite a little bit smaller pastel, but that's quite nice. Yeah, these, I used to have a set of these, and these are quite nice, quite hard pastel, quite thin. I think they're the Conte ones. So, yeah, I think that. And then probably working the C behind. Again, working darker tones to lighter tones, so perhaps a little bit of grey, probably going to be fairly similar to the colour of the paper, or could leave some of the colour. It's quite nice actually, some of the colour showing through there. And then go in with lighter tones. And I think actually it's going to lend itself to, you know, these little ripples and waves. It's probably quite a good medium for that. I just find it a really nice beginning medium and a very nice, quick, instant colour medium. But difficult to sort of kind of look after them, but yeah, good for kind of quick colour sketches. I must admit, it's something I'm thinking to sort of try, perhaps when I go away for a couple of weeks, just to do more of this sort of thing just because I think that would work a bit quicker.
You don't have to carry as much either.
You don't have to
Very-
cover as much, and you
very-
haven't got to worry about drying. It's
And then
instant colour.
just need to
Yeah.
wash your hands with it.
Yeah, just wash your hands like. Let's bring in a few highlights. Yeah, in fact, actually, because it is more difficult to get naturals, I'm just wondering about getting some sort of like yellowy colours in there. That's quite nice because probably reflecting the sun a little bit, so that's a little bit of, in with the greys, some little bit of colour. So you can almost sort of, it's a bit easier to slightly emphasise colours. Okay, so a little bit of a few ideas you could try out.
What did you say, Paul? You said you didn't like the heavy texture.
Yeah, that feels like.
You prefer the
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
yeah,
Smooth,
because some of the other artists
Yeah,
they're really heavy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It uses a lot of
Yeah, you use a lot of pastel, and then it takes ages to just fill those
Yeah.
little crevices up. So for me, I probably couldn't put loads and loads of pastel on there. It would really layer up very much, but that's easier for a quick sketch.
Yeah.
Really.
It's a nice,
I tried this watercolour, but it's very thin paper. It's not.
is that one?
It's I think it's for pastels really, just a cheap so you want to start. But didn't work very well for watercolour.